All right, today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, inside the human body to uncover the secrets of one of its most amazing and honestly most underappreciated organs. We're talking about the kidney, your body's ultimate filter. But first, let me ask you something. Think about this. Right now, as you're sitting there, your body's normal, everyday processes are creating waste products. And these aren't just harmless leftovers. They're toxic enough to be fatal. So, how are you still alive? Well, the answer is hiding inside a pair of bean-shaped organs, each one an absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. So come on, let's take a journey inside one of biology's most brilliant machines to find out how it literally saves your life every single second. Okay, so first things first, let's wrap our heads around just how big this problem really is. Your body is like a high-performance engine. It's constantly burning fuel, proteins, fats, carbs, and just like any engine, it produces exhaust. This is a constant threat from within. And just how critical is getting rid of this exhaust? Well, you don't have to take my word for it. The science is crystal clear on this one. If the excretory system fails, that toxic waste builds up and, well, it's fatal. The stakes could not be any higher. So who's the hero in this story? Who is standing guard between us and this constant internal threat? It is time to meet the kidney. These incredible organs are the absolute stars of the show, working tirelessly for you 24/7. Okay, so here's the whole setup. You can see how blood, full of all that metabolic waste, gets pumped into the kidneys through that big renal artery. The kidneys do their thing, they clean it all up, and then send the purified blood back out into the body through the renal vein. The leftover waste, that becomes urine, which travels down the ureters to the bladder. Simple, elegant, and incredibly effective. But that's the big picture. What happens when we zoom way in? If you were to slice a kidney open, you'd see these two main zones. This grainy outer layer, that's the cortex. And this paler region on the inside is the medulla. This internal geography is absolutely crucial because this is where the real magic happens. And now we're going to go even deeper. Because packed inside that cortex and medulla is a purification plant so complex and so tiny, it honestly feels like something out of science fiction. 1.2 million. What on earth is that number? Well, that is the insane number of microscopic filtering units, these little things called nephrons, that are packed inside each one of your two kidneys. These are the individual workhorses actually cleaning your blood. And here it is. This little marvel is a nephron. Every single one has two main parts. First, you've got this tangled up little ball of blood vessels called the glomerulus. That's where the filtering starts. And second, there's this super long winding tube, the renal tubule, where all the important sorting happens. So, the big question is, how does this microscopic machine do all that? Well, it all boils down to a really elegant three-step cleanup process. Let's break it down. The three steps are pretty straightforward. You've got filtration, where basically all the small stuff gets squeezed out of the blood. Then comes reabsorption, which is where your body smartly reclaims all the good stuff. And finally, there's secretion, kind of like a last-minute trash toss for any waste that was missed. Step 1, filtration is really just a game of pressure. Think of it like a push and pull. The blood pressure inside that glomerulus is pushing outward with more force than the other pressures pushing back in. It's this winning forward pressure that forces all the water, salts, and waste products out of the blood and into the tube. And the filter itself is it's a work of art. Look at this close-up. It's this super fine 3-layer membrane with tiny little pores. It's just porous enough to let tons of water and small stuff like sugar and salts pass right through, but it's a tough barrier for the big things, like proteins and blood cells. It keeps all the important stuff safely in your blood where it belongs. Okay, get ready for this, because this number is going to blow your mind. Your kidneys filter about 180 liters of fluid from your blood every single day. That is enough to fill a bathtub. But you only get rid of about 1 to 2 liters as urine. So what in the world happens to the other 178 liters? Where does it all go?
99%.
Can you believe that? A whopping 99% of the water that was just pushed out gets immediately pulled right back into your body. This is step 2, selective reabsorption. It's the body's brilliant way of basically saying, whoa, wait a second, I need that back. It is a masterclass in efficiency. So how does this happen? We'll take a look.
As all that filtered fluid cruises along the tubule, these specialized cells are busy actively pumping useful things, like sodium, back into the blood. And where sodium goes, water just naturally follows. It's an incredibly clever system for reclaiming exactly what the body needs while leaving all the junk behind to be flushed out.
All right, let's pull back and look at the big picture again. All this tiny, microscopic filtering and reabsorbing, it isn't just about taking out the trash. It's about maintaining the perfect, delicate internal balance that is required for life itself. And that balance has a fancy name: homeostasis. Your kidneys are the undisputed masters of homeostasis. By deciding exactly how much water and salt to pull back, they control your blood pressure, your body's overall hydration, and the precise mix of electrolytes that your nerves and muscles need to even fire. It's an unbelievable balancing act. And you know, this whole problem of getting rid of waste is something every animal has to solve. Nature's come up with some different solutions. You see, fish and other aquatic animals can just release super toxic ammonia right into the water. We mammals play it safer by converting ammonia into a less toxic chemical called urea. And birds and reptiles, they're all about saving water, so they turn their waste into an almost solid uric acid. It's all about adapting to your environment. So when you really think about it, you've got these two incredibly advanced biological machines inside you, performing millions of tiny calculations every second just to keep you in that perfect balance that we call life. They work tirelessly, without ever taking a break, which really leads to the most important question of all, doesn't it? What can you do to protect them?